contract failed. Meghan's delay caused Lemonada to fail at the podcast project. Lemonada has decided to suspend Meghan's Archetypes podcast until 2025. Is it because Meghan's tied up with her Netflix TV series schedule, or is there another explanation? There's another surprising development in the recent news about Harry and Meghan, the notorious couple. I'll delve into it in this video. Welcome back to Royal 365's YouTube channel. Before we dive into the main topic, I'd like to ask, do you enjoy listening to podcasts? It seems like they're gaining popularity these days. I'm contemplating whether to join the trend or not. Just kidding, I'm committed to bringing you intriguing stories. Today, I'll discuss the podcast saga. As usual, I'll go over some news. First off, Duchess Meghan made a grand announcement in February about her partnership with Lemonada Media, a female-founded company aiming to make life less tiring. What's noteworthy is Meghan's prior collaboration with Spotify, where she produced the Archetypes podcast. However, following a dispute with Spotify's CEO, she severed ties with the audio giant. Hence, her decision to partner with Lemonada for a new podcast series could pose challenges due to the company's smaller scale. While a new series for Archetypes is in the works, it won't see the light of day until 2025, as Meghan is preoccupied with her Netflix projects this year. In my view, Lemonada's move is astute, considering Meghan's yet-to-be-revealed lineup of very high-profile guests. It's likely a roster of unfamiliar names, similar to those who praised her except for Mindy Kaling. I'm curious about the listener count for Archetypes on Lemonada, perhaps inflated numbers from her devoted fans. Let's examine. While most podcasters juggle multiple commitments, Meghan's launch is delayed due to her filming schedule for the next 6 months. Lemonada is concerned about potential scheduling conflicts between its podcast launch and Meghan's American Riviera Orchard lifestyle brand debut. Lemonada aims to avoid overshadowing its podcast launch with Meghan's TV series filming in Montecito. Netflix describes the show as highlighting cooking, gardening, entertaining, and friendship. Meghan could manage both programs if she balances her time properly. Despite ample time, money, and resources, she often fails to deliver content promptly. This pattern was evident with her delayed Stereotypes podcast release, despite having numerous producers. Meghan's lifestyle allows for flexibility with nannies, cooks, gardeners, housekeepers, and drivers at her disposal. Yet, she appears to spend excessive time online, exhibiting laziness. Her own admission of spending hours surfing the internet while her children were young highlights her laziness and lack of responsibility. Some interpret Meghan's inability to secure desired podcast guests as a reason for the delay. Simultaneously launching the podcast and lifestyle brand would offer cross-promotion opportunities, but Meghan has never shied away from media exposure in the past. Meghan's allure lies in attention-seeking behavior, making excuses for delays seem implausible. It's doubtful the podcast will ever materialize. Because she revealed the deal ahead of the Netflix reality shows, she should have prioritized her podcast or announced it earlier. I can't comprehend her mindset. How could launching her lifestyle brand overshadow the podcast? Each would complement the other, boosting the podcast's visibility, which would otherwise struggle for attention. Celebrities frequently launch multiple products and projects simultaneously. It's illogical. Clearly, she wasn't prepared for the podcast and wasn't ready to start working on it, as usual. Consistently under-delivering seems to define her brand perfectly. If I were her, I'd have plenty to discuss in the podcast, like the challenges of starting a brand and the learning curve. It's the ideal opportunity for her to talk about herself, yet she's squandering it. Hold on, it just occurred to me that Meghan and Netflix's contract expires next year. The Harkles are probably eager for payment from Netflix. Knowing the deal ends soon, they're likely rushing to release the two shows before 2025. In essence, I suspect she placed her failed podcast with Lemonada for a fee when the deal was announced. Here's what I think happened. She left Spotify after the Simmons debacle, labeled as grifters. Desperately, she attempted Audible, only to be rebuffed by Amazon. Somehow, a deal with Lemonada was negotiated, with Markle paying to park the podcast there temporarily, benefiting both Markle and Lemonada with short-term PR, and Lemonada earning some income from streams. It appears that all parties involved were prepared for the absence of new content, with public announcements of delays serving to reinforce this narrative. As anticipated, attention will gradually wane, and by the time 2025 rolls around, it's likely that Archetypes will have faded into obscurity. Similarly, the fate of American Riviera Orchard remains uncertain, with the possibility of abandonment or further delays looming large. This scenario underscores the transient nature of media projects and the fleeting attention span of audiences as newer ventures emerge to capture their interest, leaving previous endeavors relegated to the annals of forgotten history. From Lemonada's standpoint, it seems they maintain a rather indifferent stance regarding Meghan's podcast endeavors. Whether Meghan proceeds with the podcast or decides to forego it altogether, Lemonada's perspective appears to be one of nonchalance. Their primary objective seems to revolve around enhancing brand visibility to bolster sales rather than being overly invested in the specifics of Meghan's podcasting activities. This attitude suggests that Lemonada's main priority lies in leveraging Meghan's association with their brand to amplify their reach and ultimately drive business growth. Just 2 months after joining Lemonada, it's already concluded releasing Spotify episodes in 2025 is nonsensical who tunes in to 3-4-year-old podcasts, and we know Meghan won't create new ones. It's another fumble. Had Lemonada released the Spotify episodes immediately, they might have stirred some interest and made money. Now it's just another disappointment, likely with Meghan's Lemonada deal paying for PR views. Meghan's interest has waned as usual. On to the next rebrand, American Riviera Orchard. Perhaps there will be filming which she enjoys, but will anything sell? I doubt it. I suspect there isn't a signed contract with Netflix for this show. It seems more like wishful thinking. She's wagering Harry's money and Netflix may decline. She's swapping a real contract for a faint hope of a TV show starring someone as charming as a reptile. Her ineptitude is astonishing. Indeed, opting for a podcast during this time frame appears to be a more rational choice. As I previously highlighted, podcasts have emerged as a popular and trendy medium for content consumption. In contrast, the prospect of producing a far-fetched series centered around either Meghan or her husband seems rather dubious. One can't help but question the potential viewership for such a production. Personally, I can already envision the incredulous expression on my face while contemplating watching such a series, indicative of the skepticism surrounding its appeal and viability. If Lemonada made this announcement, they have every right to be furious. Meghan signed with them but is now filming for Netflix instead of developing podcast episodes. She's rushing to meet Netflix's deadline to milk it for all it's worth before likely canceling her contract when it ends in 2025. Finally, it's important to acknowledge that Meghan seems to lack innate abilities or talents. Achieving excellence demands more than mere natural aptitude. It necessitates education, training, and hands-on experience in one's chosen field. Consider successful contestants on TV talent shows who have invested countless hours in honing their skills through rigorous music lessons, relentless practice sessions, participation in choir rehearsals, or performing with bands. This journey of skill development underscores the significance of dedication, perseverance, and continuous learning in attaining proficiency and mastery in any domain. My confidence in Meghan's commitment to refining her acting skills or any other endeavors remains shaky. I question whether she has dedicated any significant time to honing her craft or exploring other pursuits, such as cooking or her American Riviera Orchard venture. These pursuits appear to be mere attempts to mimic the achievements of those who have attained notable success rather than genuine passions or areas of expertise. Meghan's seemingly superficial engagement with these pursuits raises doubts about her sincerity and dedication to personal growth and development. Lemonada should exercise caution in anticipating new content from Meghan. Her track record suggests a significant delay in releasing subpar content for Spotify, indicating a lack of reliability in meeting deadlines. Therefore, Lemonada's optimism about the prospect of new content in 2025 appears unjustified. It would be prudent for Lemonada to adopt a wait-and-see approach and carefully observe the unfolding situation surrounding Meghan's latest business venture. Given the uncertainty and potential risks involved, Lemonada's best course of action may involve disentangling themselves from any contractual obligations associated with Meghan, thereby mitigating potential adverse consequences. Let's delve into another captivating chapter of Meghan's ongoing media saga. It appears that Meghan and Harry have made a rather unexpected move by appointing Kyle Boulia as their deputy press secretary, especially considering his extensive 6-year tenure at United Talent Agency Utah. This decision undoubtedly raises eyebrows and prompts speculation about the motivations behind such an appointment. One can't help but wonder what prompted Meghan and Harry to select Boulia for this pivotal role and what unique qualifications or experiences he brings to the table. Furthermore, given the nature of their previous association with Utah, one might ponder the implications of this move for both Meghan and Harry's public image and Boulia's professional trajectory. Indeed, this appointment adds another layer of intrigue to an already complex narrative surrounding Meghan and Harry's media endeavors. Upon uncovering this information, my curiosity piqued regarding the responsibilities of a press secretary. Here's what I gleaned: a press secretary plays a pivotal role in facilitating communication between a government agency, industry, or organization and the public. They are akin to public affairs specialists, but often possess a more profound understanding of law, politics, and government affairs. This nuanced expertise enables them to effectively navigate the intricacies of public communication and uphold the organization's interests in the public domain. Responsibilities include fielding questions from reporters, drafting press releases and speeches, coordinating meetings, and presenting information to the media to enhance the organization's public image. They often serve as the organization's primary spokesperson. Many governments also have deputy press secretaries who are usually mid-level political staffers supporting the press secretary and communications director in public outreach efforts. They frequently draft press releases and media advisories for review by the press secretary and communications director. Assistant press secretaries and press officers typically aid the press secretary. Additionally, press secretaries provide statements to the media during significant events or when issues arise within their organization. Hence, it is incumbent upon them to possess an exhaustive understanding of the institution or organization they represent. They must be adept at elucidating and tackling inquiries pertaining to the organization's policies, its stance on a myriad of issues, and its official position on matters of contention. This expectation necessitates a thorough grasp of not only the organization's ethos and objectives, but also the broader socio-political landscape within which it operates. The recent actions of Meghan and Harry raise intriguing questions about their intentions. Are they signaling a potential venture into the political arena, seeking to wield influence and enact change through traditional channels? Alternatively, could they be positioning themselves as leaders of a multifaceted organization dedicated to addressing societal issues and championing causes close to their hearts? Delving into this matter through thorough examination and research has left me genuinely surprised and eager to uncover further insights into their motivations and aspirations. Now, let's delve into Kyle Boulia's background. During his tenure at United Talent Agency, Boulia served as the Director of Corporate Communications, overseeing all client and executive communications for nearly 20 departments and lines of business, including talent, literature, music, podcasts, and creators. Notably, he also champions LGBTQIA representation in the entertainment industry, a commendable achievement. Wouldn't you agree? One aspect I find puzzling is why he opted to align himself with Harry and Meghan. With his extensive experience in the PR industry, he's likely encountered ample negative press about this controversial couple. However, perhaps this presents a strategic opportunity for Boulia, as his name is now making headlines across various newspapers. It is imperative to stress the persistent undervaluation of her staff by Meghan. This recurring pattern is mirrored in Harry's behavior as well, where both individuals seem to dismiss expert opinions on account of their inflated egos. The prospect of working with such personalities undoubtedly presents a formidable challenge that will test Boulia's patience and resilience. The inherent difficulties in navigating their egocentric tendencies and the consequent impact on collaborative dynamics cannot be overstated, making it a daunting endeavor for anyone involved. Regarding Meghan and Harry, do they truly require a deputy press secretary, or would a director of communications suffice? They persist in behaving as if they were still part of the royal family, fixating on titles like communications director. It's ludicrous, and their delusions are laughable. They're nothing more than a tacky celebrity duo. No one in Hollywood employs a press secretary, they have publicists. Their attempts to portray themselves as a renowned billion-dollar enterprise are absurd. Can't they conduct their affairs discreetly? It's utterly bizarre they resemble children playing make-believe, setting up toy scenarios and dressing up, oblivious to their own insignificance. To my knowledge, only the White House has a deputy press secretary. These individuals are utterly delusional. Can you name a single celebrity with a deputy press secretary? Digging deeper, I discovered that United Talent Agency, Bulia's former employer, is Omid Scobie's agency, the same agency that leaked a draft of Endgame naming royals in a race controversy to Dutch translators. Is this Bulia's reward? It's crucial to keep in mind the past remarks made by the CEO of this agency regarding Meghan, where she was labeled as talentless. This critique likely cast a shadow over Jason Knopf, who may have found himself inadvertently caught in the crossfire for his involvement in passing information to Omid during their tenure as royal employers. However, his efforts to aid bullied staff were commendable. But Bulia himself seems rather dubious to me. Let's see how smug he remains once his contract expires, and he loses whatever leverage he currently holds in the job market, failing to deliver the miracles these inept individuals typically expect from their employees. I find myself pondering extensively, why didn't Meghan prioritize the selection of a female candidate for the position? After all, she often portrays herself as a staunch advocate for feminism, does she not? Furthermore, considering the rich diversity prevalent in the United Kingdom, one cannot help but question why she didn't opt for a person of color for the role. With such a vast pool of talent available, it's perplexing that she couldn't identify a single qualified woman of color to join her team. It seems clear Meghan doesn't want any competition from other women. Perhaps she enjoys exerting authority over men, imagining they all desire her. Her delusions seem boundless. And I bet they're thinking, this is the guy who will turn everything around for us, earning us the adoration and praise we deserve. I wonder if he's aware of what he's gotten himself into. That smug smile makes him appear rather cunning. Brace yourself for endless flattery 24/7. These two faux royals are so full of themselves, it's comical. They act as if they're the heads of state. Their attempt to celebrate their nephew's birthday was cringeworthy. You just know Meghan insisted on it because Harry lacks the prince title. Absurd, isn't it? Here's a serious question. Is this a full-time job or part-time remote work? It's baffling how these two press secretaries occupy their time. They don't seem to do much of anything. What drove Kyle to join these two clueless individuals, disregarding their notorious history with staff? I almost pity him. Any bets on how long he'll last? In conclusion, it's abundantly clear that they wield considerable authority in hiring and terminating personnel at their discretion. Yet, it's undeniable that their public relations strategies and dissemination of press releases are conspicuously lacking. Instead, it seems to be a recurring pattern of former employees being reabsorbed into various roles within their domain, perpetuating a cycle of internal restructuring rather than genuine external engagement. It's evident that this individual won't serve as the savior to rescue the sinking Titanic of failure that Harry and Meghan's lives have seemingly become. Their pattern of sociopathic behavior and habitual deceit has propelled them perilously close to the brink of disgrace. One can't help but wonder whether Bulia was enticed into their fold with the promise of an exorbitant salary, or if he simply grew disillusioned with his role at United Talent Agency. Speculation arises regarding the duration of his stay alongside Harry and Meghan. It's likely to be brief unless he proves himself to be exceptionally pliable. Harry and Meghan would need to offer him a hefty salary with benefits like insurance, retirement contributions, housing, maybe even a car allowance and job security, but knowing them, they probably won't. He doesn't strike me as someone who can be bought with designer clothes or Harry's friendship. It's evident that individuals such as Bulia are driven by a thirst for fame. Unlike the proficient and dignified senior staff who gracefully departed after a year, he appears fated to linger amidst the ruins. as there are few takers willing to engage them akin to Omid's agency. In conclusion, I sincerely hope that Lemonada manages to broker a resolution with Meghan. Her propensity to dismantle anything lacking significant personal gain is well documented. It is abundantly clear that her primary focus lies in seeking fame and garnering attention, relegating all other concerns to the periphery. By choosing to initiate a television series collaboration with Netflix, a renowned and established producer in the industry, while concurrently disregarding the development of her podcast, she unequivocally demonstrates her willingness to prioritize one venture over another solely for the enhancement of her own prestige and renown. In considering Boulia's future alongside Harry and Meghan, renowned for their reputation for laziness, it becomes a matter of observation to discern the length of his tenure. While he may find himself elevated in fame by association, it's improbable that he'll receive much beyond that from them. It's essential that he possesses the fortitude to navigate their unpredictable behaviors. Personally, I harbor significant reservations about my capacity to endure the challenges of their employment. How about you? Do you find yourself sharing these sentiments of doubt and concern? I trust the information I've shared has been insightful. Your opinions are invaluable, enriching our discussions and broadening our perspectives. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos on Royal 365's YouTube channel.